Okay, so I'm going to walk you guys through how to break down a handstand. I see a lot of girls in the clinic who have shoulder pain or issues with their wrist because their handstands aren't that great, but there's a lot of reasons why someone's handstand can't be good. So instead of just stretching someone's shoulders, jumping to maybe it's their lats, you have to test out each thing and see what you're working with before you start giving exercises. So Britt's a perfect example. She's going to kick to a handstand. And you can see we have a little bit of a shoulder angle, and then her wrist angle is bad a little bit, right? So this kind of looks a little wavy, but very easily we might see a shoulder angle and say stretch your shoulders. But the first thing you want to check is the wrist, because if their wrist can't extend to 100 degrees without pain, then their whole handstand is going to be thrown off. So have them come down on hands and knees, put their fingers about a distance away, and they try to see if they can go forward, rock, and you're looking to see if this angle can go. And you can see her starts to pop up right here. So if I come back a little bit, so that's about where she's at. You can see it's backwards here. So her whole handstand is going to be thrown off by her wrist. And she works a lot on this for the tightness of some of her forearm muscles and her wrist joint. But her shoulder angle might be coming somewhat from this and not so much from her shoulders being tight or whatever it is. And you can test out to see if someone does have tightness in their shoulders. So if you come to the wall here and they sit with their back really close against the wall, they won't be able to cheat with their lower back, and they can bend their knees up. And then you go wall angel from here and slide all the way up. And you can see she starts to pop off like this, right? So then they come back down, and I'll go like this and just go straight up over that center. And they go here, and they go up like this. But again, they can't touch, but it might be the fact that they have stiffness. But if I push just like this, and I get her there, she can get there on her with some help, right? So maybe she doesn't have a true lat problem because she can get there. Her problem might be more with trying to use her arms overhead. If she lays on her stomach, you can test real quick to see if they have a mobility problem or not. So if I take her arm and I just raise it like this, she clearly has enough flexibility to get to where she needs to go for a handstand. She's just not using it, and I'm kind of holding down right here so she doesn't arch back up. So for her, she has an overhead control problem, not something related to how tight her lats are. But if she tries to raise her arms on her own, it's hard for her to do that. And so if she can't do it here against gravity, it's hard for her to do it up and down. So wrists, and then her shoulders, control her mobility, and then one more for their middle back. If this part of your middle back can't extend backwards, and a lot of gymnasts I treat have a lot of hollow problems, they have some stiffness up front, or they're stuck like this, they can't extend backwards to get to their handstand. So if she sits up and rocks her butt back to her heels, she's going to put one elbow right between her knees. And so when she's rounded like this, she can't cheat here, and she's going to turn and look at the ceiling as far as she can. And that's more than enough if you come around from the front. So you can see she can clearly get up to way past it. People that have problems with it will be like right here or lower, and when you give them a little bit of a push, they can't really go any farther. You can test that middle back or thoracic mobility, and you can kind of break down every one of those to see which one's the biggest issue. So try to break it down and figure out which one it is. Don't just guess and start stretching people. And if they have pain, you need to send them to a medical provider. If they hurt in their shoulders and their wrists, you can't be doing anything for a treatment on your own.